Hi, this is Robert Schueller, Melissa's Produce there, to answer your produce questions about produce in general for the summertime.
Okay.
All right.
So we have heard a lot of stories about how to pick the right fruit. A lot of meat, a lot of things on social media, how to pick the right melon, how to pick the right watermelon. Tell me the top 5 that you have heard on social media that you think that they are true or they are not true.
Okay, so watermelons is now focused a lot of its efforts on talking about what makes a good watermelon when you go to the local produce department to pick one out. And I just happen to have a watermelon here. And I'm gonna, there's some myths about this. The first myth is, are the lines closer together make it sweeter, or lines wider apart make it sweeter? It doesn't matter. There's different varieties of melons, watermelons. Some of them are completely dark and have no stripes. So I'm just gonna kind of bust that myth. That's not an indication of sweetness. Another myth is in regards to the stem. If the stem is missing like this from the belly button, that means it was picked at the right time. If there's a big old stem on the watermelon, it was picked too early. Another thing is, in looking to when the watermelons are growing on the field, the watermelons that grow on the ground will produce like a colored colorization. The yellow color on a watermelon is a good indicator. If it's white, it's probably not gonna be as sweet. But if it has a yellow shadow to it, to where it was sitting on the ground, that will tell you that it's a sweeter. Now, a lot of people like to smell it, but watermelons, they don't have a lot of smell on the outside. So smell in this case is not an indication of ripeness. And then the funniest thing that you see on social media is doing that. I'm really not sure what people are doing or listening for when they do this, but that's definitely a myth that I am crushing, because that's not how you pick out a good watermelon. But one thing's for sure, you wanna make sure that a watermelon, because it stores for a long time, you wanna make sure that the watermelon is heavy for its size. So if there's 2 watermelons about the same size, go for the heavier one, because that one was picked, that one was more recently picked, because the more fresh it is, the better it is. Watermelons sit for a long time, they dehydrate, and they lose their sweetness. So that's why you wanna get a heavy, nice watermelon. And then finally, the last myth in regards to melons, watermelons, is the shape of them. This is the myth that I'm crushing, because it does not make sense. Round circled watermelons aren't sweeter than long extended ones. The difference is round watermelons are seedless with edible white seeds, and the longer watermelons, they can be just as sweet. The difference is they're long and oval shape and bigger than a regular sized watermelon, because they contain seeds. And those are 5 things on how to choose your best watermelon.